Greetings, fellow YouTuber. My name is Tim. Fellow YouTuber, my name is Tim. Welcome once again to everybody's favorite steaming hot pile of cow swallop. Yes, this is GainerWorld Live. My name is Tim Gainer. Thank you so much for joining me. I certainly do appreciate it. And if you are new to this wonderful little broadcast that we put together every Friday night, if you're expecting hard-hitting entertainment, if you're expecting all kinds of fun, if you're expecting hard-hitting comedy, boy, Johnny, are you back on the wrong horse, because we don't do any of that stuff around here. Basically, what we do is we kind of talk amongst ourselves, is what we do. We sit back and we talk about things that are going on or have been going on and just kind of do that. And occasionally we play some music along the way and just generally talk amongst ourselves. And the way that we do that is, if you're watching live, you're on YouTube, so you're always expecting, you're expecting stuff to be over here. Okay? It's not over here. It's right there. You see that? It's right there. Right there. That's what's going on. So, yeah, we have got a chat. We want you to come in. We want you to chat with us. We want you to have all kinds of fun with us. Amu City's saying, sorry he's late. He's consuming mass quantities. Amu City, knowing you, that could be one of the most open-ended statements I can possibly think of. But it's okay. We appreciate the fact that you're here. And if you are here and you're new, please, by all means, join us in the chat. We really do appreciate it. We'd love to talk to you. Just tell us where you're from. Don't worry. We won't insult your intelligence much, even though just by virtue of the fact that you're watching the show. So anyway, we got that going on. So yeah, by all means, please let us know. And we will get into things as they come along. A lot of stuff. We weren't here last week. CO is in Florida, is representing, says little sister Judy. Okay, so now my sister's turned into a nomad. I'm not sure what's going on. I always knew she was part gypsy, but hey, who am I to say what's right or wrong? Anyway, a lot of people asking, where were you last week? Pardon me. Last week, as many of you know, speaking of which, before we go anyplace, before we do anything, I do have to let you know that we are going to be bugging out a few minutes early this evening. The reason being is because I'm doing double duty. Right after I get done with this, I have to run down the hall, as it were, and I'll be filling in for Cyrus Gray on the Hugs Top 10 Countdown. Hugs 24/7 radio, we count down. Yes, Hugs has a 200 chart. We have a top 200 chart. 200 of the best unsigned independent artists from around the world, and we're going to be counting down the top 10. That's going to be starting at 9 o'clock Eastern, 8 o'clock Central, right after this here fine piece of bandwidth goes off. So be sure to check us out. Pardon me. Hugs at WRGG.com, HUGSATWRGG.com. Boy, you leave for a week and you even forget how to spell. But anyway, be that as it may, yeah. Please join us for that, the Hugs Top 10 Countdown at hugs at WRGG.com. That's starting right after this show. So we'll be looking forward to seeing you right there. Where were you last week, Tim? You were in PA moving stuff last week. You have no idea. Luckily, I brought some home movies back. That usually scares the hell out of anybody when you say stuff like that. Would you like to see home movies? I don't know if that's the same thing these days because people just have it on their phones and they just post it on Facebook, which is pretty much the same thing. But yeah, no, we were in PA. We were moving the new digs in Connellsville, PA, to a new location that we are building. And that's really about all I can say about it for right now. We've got a brand new space in the little tiny bustling burb of Connellsville. It's a very cool little town, I have to admit. Amu City wants to know, is it home movies or classic stag films? Depends upon which reel you accidentally managed to grab. But there's a lot of, we're still in the construction phase, as you can see. There's a lot going on. This is going to be part of the studios for the station of Hugs 24, the future home of Hugs 24/7 Radio. A lot of building, as you can tell. But it's coming along, and I personally am very excited about it because this is going to be it's going to be a brand new phase in not just my life personally, but just overall in the world of radio. And it doesn't get any better than this. Chris King pops in, our occasional guest co-host. Chris King pops in and says, "I'm sure you are," and I am. So yeah, things are moving along slowly but surely. And don't call me Shirley. But I can tell you this is going to be the main room. That much I'm going to tell you. So yeah, no opening date as of yet, but things are moving along. They're moving along swimmingly. They're moving along at a very fast clip. And if you're a fan of the station, if you're a fan of this show, yeah, stay tuned. There's a lot going on. A whole bunch going on. A veritable plethora, if you will, of happenings. And speaking of happenings, I know that we were gone for a week. There's things that I want to talk about that we're going to talk about later on in the show. But right now, it is time for us to get into everybody's favorite segment of the show. Yes, it's time once again for the Deadpool Report. Let's get into it! If you don't know the name Cynthia Weil, you are to be forgiven. She was not exactly a household name when it came to people in show business, but you sure as heck have heard her works. She is seen here with her husband, the legendary husband and colleague, Barry Mann. Yes, that Barry Mann. She was one of the original Brill Building writers and had not just a string, but a catalog of hits, many of whom you have had listened to at least once in your life, and you should know by heart. I'm just going to read some of these off, okay? She wrote, along with Barry Mann, she wrote, "You've Lost That Lovin' Feelin'," On Broadway, Make Your Own Kind of Music, Walkin' in the Rain, Soul and Inspiration, Uptown, Kicks, Here You Come Again, Through the Fire, Somewhere Out There, and my personal favorite, Blame It on the Bossa Nova. That was Cynthia Weil. Unfortunately, Cynthia passed away yesterday evening at the age of 82. No cause of death has been announced. But Jen Mann, her daughter, wrote in a public statement, "My mother, Cynthia Weil, was the greatest mother, grandmother, and wife our family could ever ask for. She was my best friend, confidant, and my partner in crime, an idol and a trailblazer for women in music. She was one of the top Brill-building songwriters, according to Variety. And she just had a string, like I said, a string of hits. I mean, she wrote for everybody. We're talking the Righteous Brothers, the Ronettes, the Drifters, the Monkees, the Animals, Paul Revere and the Raiders, multiple Phil Spector productions, the Righteous Brothers, as I said. She won many a Grammy Award, and many an award for just music. She wrote. She later on wrote with Lionel Richie. She wrote "Running with the Night." She wrote. She helped Peabo Bryson write "If You're Ever in My Arms Again." The Pointer Sisters. He's So Shy. That was all Cynthia Weil. She and Barry Mann were inducted into the Songwriters Hall of Fame in 1987, and got into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame that year as well. Oh, I beg your pardon. In 2010, they received the Ahmet Ertegun Award at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and there's a cute little story about how when she accepted it, her speech was, "From the bottom of my heart, with the greatest humility, I thought you guys would never ask." So yeah, very sad indeed. One of the great songwriters from the 60s, or the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, and beyond. Cynthia Weil, gone at the age of 82. That is this week's Deadpool Report, y'all. A lot of people chiming in on that one. Boy, oh boy. Chris saying she had an Oldsmobile dealership in Libertyville. I did not know that. I didn't think, you would think with all the royalties that she had with all of those songs. But then again, back there at Tin Pan Alley, a lot of that was flat fee stuff, wasn't it? So it's hard to say. MU City saying, I knew nothing of this. I'm looking at her catalog right now. We got to get out of this place by the Animals. Yeah, definitely wrote that one. Chris, Eddie Kendricks, Keep on Trucking. Yep, that's a fact. He's So Shy, a very 60s feel despite the synths. Oh yeah, that you could hear the chiffons and the Ronettes on that one without a question. Amy said he's saying you want to talk about the person we didn't. We're going to get to that. We are going to get to that. Give me a few minutes. We have something kind of special lined up for that. So yeah, that's what's going on there. So yeah, Cynthia Weil. I mean, man, talk about a great career. And yet she had to sell cars in Libertyville. I don't know. I got a hard time to remember that one, Chris. There was a commercial on WLS radio that went, "Weil Olds in Libertyville. It's a beautiful place." Stop it. Stop it. Just stop it. Weil Olds in Libertyville. That's a very, very local joke, by the way. And I do remember that. It's a beautiful place in the country. And I do remember that, unfortunately. That was it, for real. No, I remember the commercial. I totally remember the commercial. I just don't think Cynthia Weil would invest in an Oldsmobile franchise. I don't know. I have a hard time with that one. But hey, that's just me. That's just me. But hey. Yeah, no, I'm with you, Chris. I'm with you, buddy. It's no problem. Speaking of people I can't hang with, speaking of Southsiders that are just a little weird, Ye's in trouble again. Yep. Kanye is being sued. He is being sued for assault battery and negligence as he was caught on camera grabbing a paparazzi photographer's phone and throwing it into the street. You can't help but get the feeling that Yeezy's got maybe some anger issues, some anger management issues that really need to be looked at. According to Variety, the photographer, Nicole Leishmanek, says she was just doing her job, just being a celebrity photojournalist, and she was capturing content of the Yeezed one, as we like to call him, into business. It's that Kardashian lingling. Yeah, I think that's what it is. I think once you date a Kardashian, suddenly this leprosy comes over your life, and you just can't get away with it. It makes people crazy. I know. I've noticed that. You know, you get some of that Kardashian booty, and well, your life goes straight to hell. According to Variety, Nicole says, and I quote, "He reached into my car as if he were going to hit me. He grabbed my phone out of my hand and then angrily threw it into the street. He caused so much fear, I have not been the same since." Most people are like that usually when they are around Kanye, Nicole, so it's really nothing new. So she filed a lawsuit this week with the Ventura County Superior Court near L.A. County. And, of course, that lawsuit has been obtained by Variety. Amy City is saying, "They'll take my money when they sue me. Oh, those horrid paparazzi. Oh, they some gold diggers all over town. That takes on me." Yeah. So she had previously called 911 and filed a police report. And following an investigation earlier this year, Ventura County District DA's office said that Leishmanek declined to press charges. But now, in a lawsuit, go figure, the paparazzo is seeking damages, claiming that she sustained, quote, "great mental and emotional pain," and has been prevented from doing her job, therefore suffering from lost earnings. The suit says that Kanye's conduct was willful, wanton, and malicious. Yeah, and here it comes. Even little sister Judy's going, "Can I file a lawsuit that hearing his name causes me to become nauseous with mental duress?" I don't know. Can you not do your job if you hear the name Ye? I know I'd get at least a little nauseous. I shouldn't say that. I've never met the man personally. I don't think I'd want to. Because like I said, I mean, we're talking serious anger issues, okay? We are talking serious anger management issues. The incident occurred on January 27th when he was outside from the Yeaster, was outside a sports academy in Ventura County. He was attending his daughter's basketball game. His ex-wife, supermodel Kim Kardashian, was also at the game, and why Variety felt they needed to say that was beyond me. But, according to the lawsuit, after Leishmanek took pictures of Kardashian entering the sports academy, she noticed Kanye outside of his vehicle angrily confronting another photographer on the street and started filming the alleged incident from her cell phone. Okay, so obviously this was this was residual anger, is what we're talking about here. And the suit says, according to Variety, given defendant Ye's reputation, you can't even say that with a straight face. You know, I can understand given defendant Kanye or given defendant West's, but now they've got given defendant Ye's reputation. for violence against photographers, his history of physically harming them, and based on his threatening body language, plaintiff became fearful for the photographer's safety. She remained in the driver's seat when she began filming. Her associate was sitting in the passenger seat next to her, and he was also filming from his phone. And Yeezy walked up to the car. According to the suit, it says, quote, she did not want to get out of her car because she was afraid of defendant Ye. When he came near the car, the suit states that he was speaking aggressively and became enraged. Y'all ain't gonna run up on me like that. Ye said to Leshmanek, if I say stop, stop with your cameras. The photographer explained to Kanye that he was a celebrity, insinuating she was just doing her job. He reached into plaintiff's car, ripped her phone out of her hands. As he did so, plaintiff was fearful. Defendant Ye had a weapon or would strike her. Defendant Ye then threw her phone onto the street towards oncoming traffic, gave her a death stare, and walked away. I can't think of too many people that survived that Kanye West death stare. the Ye death stare. Just throwing it out there. Thursday, accompanied by her attorney, Gloria Allred, who, as we know, is the defense attorney to the stars. Chris is saying he does have a weapon. It's how him and Kim got north. Hello! Or as we used to say in the Army, one is my weapon, one is my gun, one is for shooting, the other's for fun. So, yeah, Nicole said yesterday in a press conference, he has no right to assault me, batter me, or cause me to be afraid to pursue my profession. I want, Ye, to know that he cannot do what he did without facing consequences. I'm determined to stand up for myself and let him know that he must change his abhorrent behavior. And that's why you didn't press charges? Come on, Nicole. Really? You know. In fact, one reporter asked about the notion of violating a celebrity's privacy, and she said that she'd been working as a photographer for 10 years. She's always respectful of famous subjects. Quote, I just think that people don't understand the hardship that we go to as far as photographers. I've never had any other incident like this happen like this with any other celebrity. I want people to know that there are good people that do this profession. We're mindful of the celebrities. We're always concerned of their well-being. I would never do any harm. Okay. So, yeah. So, that's the situation there. Kanye's getting slapped with a lawsuit. No charges, mind you. But for some reason, Nicole feels that she has to sue him. Don't know how much. Doesn't say. But, yeah. I mean, I understand where she's coming from. Merely in that, yeah, you know, I mean, you can be, upset. But look, and I have said this before. I've said this repeatedly. That when you're in the public eye, that's the price you pay. You do sacrifice some of your private life to be in the public eye. Now, a lot of it in Kanye or Ye situation, a lot of it is self-inflicted. I will openly admit that. On one side, the boy is a PR machine. On the other side, I don't know why you think you can control the narrative on that, because you can't. Once you sell your soul to the devil, for lack of a better term, that's the price you pay. And that's just the way it is. Little sister put it back. The paparazzi chasing Diana didn't mean any harm either. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Of course, we all know the last thing that went through Diana's mind. The windshield. Speaking, and this really ties together with a story that I didn't have time for the last time we visited. But I really do want to talk about this. Because, again, I said in the case of Kanye that you cannot control the narrative with the public. You just can't. And you should never, ever underestimate the public. And little sister says, I am a sick man. To which I can only say, thanks. It's a gift. Trying to control the narrative when you're in the public eye just does not work. It really doesn't. Case in point, and I know I know people's skin is going to crawl when I mention this, but case in point, Lil Wayne. A few weeks ago, Wayne was at the Wiltern Theater in L.A. And part of the reason that he was doing this show is not just, to do his own thing, which is fine, for better or for worse. But also, he was showcasing some of the people from his Young Money label. Yes, believe it or not, Weezy has his own label. Which in this day and age really is not that big of a deal. But here we are. So on his Young Money label, he brought along for this particular show at the Wiltern, he brought in Lil Twist, Yash Kader, and Alan Cubis. And they were all performing, and everything was great. And of course, the Weezer went on first, which is fine. I mean, it's his show. He can do whatever the heck he wants. It's perfectly all right. But then he allowed... Well, first off, it should be pointed out here that he was an hour late starting, which is never a good thing. I don't care what you tell me. You never want to be an hour late to start your own show. So, yeah. So he was an hour late. He played for about 30 minutes. Which, if he's the headliner, that's an even bigger problem. But respectfully, he did get off the stage early so that his stable of label mates could perform as well. Which is cool. I got no problem with that. I have no problem with that at all. Apparently, the problem being that Wayne didn't appreciate the response that his other artists were getting. Apparently, it was a rather lackluster response. So, while Yash Kader came on, during it, Weezy felt that the crowd's response was so bad that he returned to the stage to announce the show was over. He came out, stopped the show, and said, and I'm gonna censor this best I can because it is YouTube. We work too hard for this stuff. We work way too hard. This is my artist, Alan. That was Twist. That was Yaj. We are Young Money. We appreciate y'all's time. Drop the mic, and that was it. Show was over. Now, I don't care who you are. And I mean this in all sincerity. I don't care if you're Lil Wayne. I don't care if you're Bruce Springsteen. I don't care if you're Dolly Parton. I don't care who you are. You cannot force the crowd to love you. That's that whole Citizen Kane thing going on, okay? Where you're trying to get people to love you and love your artists. And yeah, you know what, Wayne? You're right. You guys do work hard. I know. Been there. Did it. Still doing it. Been working really hard. If the show ain't going good, maybe it's not the crowd. Maybe it's the artist's failure for reading the crowd and not giving them what they sufficiently want. Granted, the buying public is fickle. But let's be honest here. That does not give you the right, nor does it give you the license, after people have paid their hard-earned money, for you to say, oh, I don't like the way you like or dislike these people. We're going home. Yeah. It don't work like that. Okay? So, and you can say, during the show, yes, you can think whatever you want. I am the greatest rapper in the world. He actually did say that during the show, by the way. I wouldn't know about that. I know a few guys that would run rings around you, but that's just me. So then, does that mean you're going to get all mad and pissed off at me because I have a dissenting view over what you think? Well, the same thing applies with what you did at the Wiltern that night. You didn't just insult yourself. You insulted the audience. You insulted the other artists by not giving them a chance to prove themselves. So, yeah. Anybody who respects Lil Wayne because he is the greatest rock guitarist in the world, Don't know if you're aware of that or not. He said so himself. And if you don't believe me, go back and watch that god-awful performance that he had that one year on, what was it, the Grammys or the American Music Awards, where he actually thought that he could rock with the best of them. But, I'll give you an A for effort, man. Give you an A for effort. It's all good. There is one other thing that happened this week in the news. And this is... I really want everybody's opinion on this. And I do mean, if you're watching this live or if you're watching the replay, please, comment down below. We will get back to you because we do that stuff. Because I'm a lonely, desperate man. So, something happened in the news today that people have been joking about this for a long, long time. And I joke about it myself. I have people that, don't. Chris says, lonely, desperate man, and you're isolating yourself. Hey, maybe I'm a glutton for punishment. Who knows? I used to have a running joke with all the people that, one of the reasons that they didn't get the COVID vaccine was because they knew that the reason for the COVID vaccine was because they were trying to put the chip in. They were trying to put the implant in you. And I would respond, no. They're trying to take it out. Well, sure. According to Rolling Stone, after years of delay, Neuralink, a startup company that was founded by everybody's favorite mannequin launching conservative, Elon Musk, and a small group of scientists way back there in 2016, they are set to begin human trials for an implantable brain chip that Elon says will revolutionize humanity. That's not the scary part. The really scary part is that there are all kinds of volunteers for this testing. For example, there's Adam Woodworth. Again, this is out of Rolling Stone, today's latest issue of Rolling Stone. Adam Woodworth is a 40-year-old security manager for a museum in Indianapolis who suffers from short-term memory loss because of a military injury. He says, quote, I would love to be on the cutting edge of medical science to be able to bridge the gap of humans and technology. I understand that there are risks, but someone has to be willing to step up and take that risk. I'm willing to be one of those people if Elon and the Neuralink team would be willing to allow me to participate. Well, Woodworth adds, quote, also not sure if it'll be possible right off the bat, but I'm also a Tesla owner. Tell you what, Adam, if you've got stock in SpaceX, you are in, babe. I'm here to tell you. I'm also a Tesla owner, and it'd be pretty rad if I could communicate with my car with just my mind. Oh, man. The company, according to the magazine, has so far developed a brain-computer interface, or BCI, that is implanted within the skull by a surgical robot and uses electrodes to process the electrical activity of neurons and then transmit these signals to another device, such as a computer. Go figure. Motor impairment and spinal cord injuries have been the focus of Neuralink's early explorations, which is a good idea. They've already figured out ways of helping people to correct their hearing through things like that. And our boy Elon has poured at least $100 million of his own money into the venture and makes far broader and fantastic claims about the capabilities of his company's implant. Apart from declaring, it says here, that it will enable someone with paralysis to use a smartphone with their mind faster than someone using their thumbs, and it will help paraplegics to walk again. But he speculated it could eventually treat blindness, schizophrenia, depression, autism, obesity, and insomnia. So what you're telling me, Elon, What you are telling me is that your implants can fix this? Is that what you're saying, Elon? Are you saying that if I eat the chip and hook myself up to a 220 line, I'm going to lose all that? Is that what you're telling me, Elon? If that's the case, sign me up, brother. In fact, even little sister wants to know. Please tell me the orange Oompa Loompas have volunteered. I hope so, because that's a whole revolution right there. Chris also says that's how the zombie apocalypse will happen. I don't think so. No. I think that has to do with the drugs. It'll do all that until your subscription runs out. I hear you. For the low price of $9.95, we'll cure your schizophrenia. Just subscribe $9.95 per month. Here's how. Visa and MasterCard accepted. So anyway, the FDA is not on board with this completely, by the way. In fact, they blocked the next phase of Neuralink's research in early 2020 because of extensive safety concerns. Oh, I don't know, something about shooting electrical current into somebody's brain? What could possibly go wrong? Neuralink worked for over a year to resolve those complex issues, apparently to the agency's satisfaction, as the company last week revealed that it had finally secured approval to work with human patients. In a statement shared with Rolling Stone, an FDA spokesman confirmed the green light. Well, there you go. I stand corrected. An FDA spokesman confirmed the green light for human clinical trials, noting that their evaluation process involves, quote, ensuring risks that are which are appropriately minimized and communicated to subjects, and ensuring the potential for benefit, including the value of the knowledge to be gained, outweighs the risk. Amy City is saying something. I need you to clear this one up, buddy. Zydrate comes in a little glass vial. So do most Intel processors. So what? You might be saying to yourself right about here, gee, what's Elon saying about all this? Well, Elon is repo the genetic operator reference. Got it. Okay. Elon took a victory lap on the news today. Pardon me. Via Twitter. He congratulated the Neuralink team, which, by the way, he also owns. And with the pathway to further research now open, another question looms, according to Rolling Stone. Who will be the first to have one of these experimental chips embedded in their brain? To which I pose this question to you, fellow YouTuber. If given the opportunity, knowing the pros, knowing the cons, knowing the jokes, knowing the legends, knowing the conspiracy theories, if someone walked up to you right here and now and asked you the question, how would you like to volunteer to be one of the first people to have a Neuralink chip embedded into your brain, would you do it? Give me the answer in the chat. Give me the answer down in the comments below. I'm very curious about this. I personally, nah. Nope. There's something about electricity and the possibility of glowing in the dark for perpetual motion, for the perpetual amount of time, I have a hard time with. Musk's replies were predictably crammed with admirers requesting the device, it says here, and asking how to join Neuralink's clinical trials. Contrary to social media rumors, not everyone can sign up. Gosh, go figure. At present, you can add your name to a patient registry that will help you determine preliminary eligibility for participation. And that's only if you have quadriplegia, paraplegia, vision loss, hearing loss, and or the inability to speak. So, if you can't walk, if you can't hear, if you can't see, if you can't talk, have we got a deal for you? For the moment, it goes on with this article in Rolling Stone. These criteria exclude most of the technologies eager to play guinea pig, none of whom are fazed by the negative press trailing in the company's wake. They, too, welcome the FDA's blessing and continue to prophesize the eventual triumph of the Neuralink project. Lyric Cabello, 23, a piercing and tattoo artist in Dallas, said, quote, "I've been waiting for this for years. The reports of animals dying gruesomely in Neuralink labs are nothing to worry about because they were killed in early trials." Well, there you go. How bad can it be? It wouldn't dissuade her from becoming a test subject. It's all FDA approved now. And for that to have happened, the entire team at Neuralink facility have spent and dedicated their entire time on researching and developing the technology. Chris is writing. He was in the middle of a sentence when his eyes glazed over and he said, "Hey, it looks like you're in an interview. Would you like some help with that?" Yeah, pretty much. And then he said, "In other words, if your pet's name is like Helen Keller's dog, you're in." Pretty much. Yeah. When asked, should I? Yes, I should. When asked for a statement, Helen simply said, so, yeah. But let me know what you guys think about all this. Because this, I mean, we've joked about this for the longest time. About people putting the chip into your brain. I mean, they've talked about it as far back as Star Trek. But let me know what you think. Do you really believe that this is the way of the future? That there's going to be implants in your brain where you can hook yourself up to a Dell i5 laptop and recharge yourself every morning? I mean, see, the jokes are already out. Little sister says you're still a sick man. I know. It's a curse and it's a gift. What are you going to do? But yeah, let me know how you think about this. If you had the possibility, if it was even a necessity, would you have a chip implanted into your brain? Let me know in the comments down below. I can't think of too many people because, like I said, there's so many conspiracy theorists that, the government is involved in this, and they want to control you, and they want you to act a certain way, and da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And there have been times, I mean, and the first thing that pops into my head is when I'm trying to remember his name. Very famous radio commentator who suddenly went deaf. And they actually took like a little circuit or a little implant on the back of his head, which caused him to regain his hearing. So to that end, I understand that. There have been, cases like that of people, having things inserted into their ear, having things, inserted in the back of their eyes, to help with retinal loss and things like that. But to actually have it go into the head, yeah. Different story altogether. Amu City is saying the tech is early. The tests were rushed. It's coming. Absolutely. Are we ready for it? No. Is Neuralink going to go the way of the Segway? Yes. But future incarnations will make it. I don't know, man. We're talking Elon Musk here, and we're talking the fact that when Elon sets his mind to something, he's going to do it. He is going to do it. Twitter, anybody? Just saying. I used to admire the guy. When he shot the mannequin driving the convertible out into space, I went, I like the way this guy thinks. But now he's doing some weird stuff. Lost Pages has popped in. Ricky Lyons popped in. Ricky, good to see you, my man. He's saying, oh, my Lanta, I jumped in at a weird time. I heard lost hearing. No. No, see, this is why you've got to be on time for class, young man. They've been doing that for deaf infants. Yeah, okay, and that's what I'm talking about. So the technology is there. I just don't think it's going to be that direct. Weird is not the word. Yeah. Chris giving Ricky a hard time now. Yeah, why are you coming in at the end of the show, man? Speaking of the end of the show, because like I said, we're gonna have to pop out of here kind of early. And again, as soon as I get off the air here, please head over to Hugs 24/7 Radio, Hugs at WRGG.com, HUGSATWRGG.com. 9 o'clock Eastern, 8 o'clock Central, I will be filling in for Cyrus Gray with the Hugs Top 10 Countdown, the top 10 unsigned independent artists from around the world. We weren't here last week because I was in Pennsylvania helping to put a studio together. And it was because of this that I was not able to participate in probably the biggest story that, we joke about the death. We joke about the Deadpool a lot, but nobody had this on their card. And of course, I'm talking last week about the very untimely and very sad and very sudden death of the Queen of Rock and Roll herself, Miss Tina Turner. Now, I know this is about a week old, and we shouldn't probably be talking about it, but I just wanted to put my 2 cents in. Simply because, I don't know, this hit me really hard. And I think a lot of it is kind of a personal aspect. Because the very first concert that I got to see was, in fact, going to see Ike and Tina Turner in 1972 at Ravinia Park in Chicago. And it was one hellacious show. The Ikeettes were out there, and they blew the doors off the place. So it kind of hits me in a personal way. But also the fact that this woman, my God, the life that she had to endure and to come back from all of it to become, a lot of people say, she was the queen of rock and roll, and that is not, that ain't no understatement, y'all. That ain't no understatement. Little Anna Mae Bullock really was a force of nature. And I'm not going to get into the whole thing because I'm sure for the last week, and I've heard it myself. Everybody's talked about her entire life, when she was married with Ike, all the abuses, her leaving with 36 cents and a mobile gas card in her pocket, and just rising from the ashes, literally, to make the comeback of all comebacks. I regard Private Dancer as probably one of the greatest albums ever made. There isn't a bad track on that album. Period. What's Love Got to Do with It? Better Be Good to Me. Steel Claw. It's just, she was an amazing human being. She really was. I mean, she had a stroke, kidney cancer, and she endured all of it. All of it. So I had to put my 2 cents in because it was such a sudden and amazing loss and such a sad loss. I know nobody had that on their death pool cards. But I wanted to show my respects to the Queen. And I was trying to think of how we could, end this segment and for all intents and purposes, end the show. By paying tribute, rightly so, to Tina. And I thought we could do it nice and light. Nice and easy. But Tina, you never, ever did anything nice and easy. So that's how we're going to pay tribute to you tonight, honey. Godspeed and rest in peace. Because we're going to do it nice and right.